I used to think that slim and lean legs were something you either were born with or you were born without. And I definitely was never the girl that could eat whatever she wanted, do a few random workouts, and be lean and strong and have this beautiful physique. That just was never me. I have always had to work very hard for my body, something that I am very proud of and happy that I've had to do throughout the years, because that has been something that's motivated me from when I was even a teenager. I knew that I needed to put in that work to really see the results. My legs were always the first place that I would store fat and the last place that I would lose it. And I remember always just looking at girls with lean and slim legs being like, I wish those were my legs. We all have that thing, but for me, my legs were that number one thing that I always wanted to change. And it wasn't until the last few years that I realized it is actually possible. While genetics, of course, play a huge role, they are not the full story. And over the past few years, I mean, you will see from my before and afters, I have been able to lose fat, sculpt up, and get my legs to a place where I feel strong and confident in my body. And I have done that without major restriction, without any extreme dieting. And today, I am going to share with you exactly what I have done to see that transformation, and also, more importantly, be able to sustain that transformation for a longer term, so that if your lower body is also something that you struggle with in terms of feeling confident with yourself, you can now also apply these healthy habits. So let's break it down. When I first started hearing people talk about walking as a game changer for fat loss, I kind of just rolled my eyes. Because walking is so leisurely, it's accessible to everyone, anyone can do it, and it's so easy to do, very low effort. I'm sure a lot of people out there, maybe including you, I just didn't believe it. How could walking, something that is, again, so easy, reshape my body? Seems a little bit too good to be true, right? But in 2022, when I started to really focus and go in on my step count and really making sure I am hitting 7 to 10K steps every single day, I started to see changes specifically in my lower body, again, because that is where I store most of my fat first. I started to see change that I had never seen before. Walking is so amazing because it is low impact. It puts very little stress on our bodies, and a lot of the time it actually helps with stress relief, especially if we were going outside for our walks, being in nature, getting the sunlight, getting the fresh air. We are calming our nervous systems, calming our body, de-stressing, and that alone will help with fat loss. But at the same time, when we want to look at it a little bit more scientifically, our bodies use fat as its main energy source when we are doing low impact activity like walking. Walking also keeps our blood and our lymphatic system moving, which is great for releasing water retention and also puffiness in the body. And I feel like a lot of the time, people often mistake that for stubborn fat that they're holding on to, when in reality, they just needed to get things moving and get all of that inflammation out of the body. Now, I talk a lot about walking on YouTube, and I have one specific video all about how walking 10,000 steps a day changed my life, so make sure to check it out here. But if you're watching this and you're like, okay, this sounds amazing, I want to start incorporating it, but girl, how do I do it? I'm going to share with you how I structure my day around walking really quick. I wake up first thing in the morning, and 90% of the time I go right outside. I put on a comfy, not even like my main workout set for the day, I put on like something comfy shorts, a sports bra, grab a sweater, and I put on my headphones, I head straight outside. I usually also have a drink, whether it's my lemon water, my magic morning drink, celery juice. I have something, water with electrolytes with me. Doing my meditation, then I normally switch to a podcast, and I'm banging out 30 to 40 minutes first thing right in the morning, before most of the time even 8 a.m. Then throughout my day, I am working from basically the morning until the afternoon, and I need a break. So I am going to, around lunchtime, either get on my walking pad or go back outside for another 20 to 30 minutes. Most people, if you're working 9 to 5, you get about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of lunch. Take just 20 minutes of that. And if you're in a building, do the stairs up and down, then eat your lunch, or eat your lunch and then do the stairs. Better for blood sugar regulation. Or maybe you are going with a friend, a coworker out for lunch. So walk there instead of Ubering there or whatever you do. Try to prioritize walking in your day. Then after dinner, if I haven't already hit my steps, most of the time I haven't, but sometimes during lunch if I need to go run an errand, I'm walking there. Sometimes I'm able to actually hit my steps before dinner, but I will have dinner and then I'll grab my boyfriend or a friend that lives close by. We'll go back to the park and finish off our day with another 30-minute, 40-minute, 20-minute, whatever it is, walk. You need to set yourself up for success, so don't leave your 10,000 steps for the very end of the day. Figure out a schedule and plan it like a workout. You need to build a schedule for you that is realistic and something that you will be able to sustain over time. Now, my change did not come overnight once I started to incorporate walking. However, over time, I did begin to notice my legs slimming out, and that was a major win for me. For years, my go-to routine for shaping my lower body was all about weights, heavy deadlifts, squats, and lunges, because that was just what I was taught. Especially as I went through my education with fitness, I never learned about Pilates and low impact. That's more of a specialty thing that I learned about later on in my fitness career. But I was very much taught heavy lifting. That is how we shape. That is how we change our bodies. That is how we get strong. And that's what we all should be doing. So for years, I was blinders on, narrowed in on just strength training. And I was overtraining because I wanted that body so badly. And that happens to so many women out there. We have this ideal figure and we will do whatever it takes, even if that means working out twice a day to get that body. But let me tell you, that is never ever going to work. What happened with me by only focusing on strength training and conditioning was my body was just puffy. I was inflamed. Again, if you look at me, when I look in the mirror, I'm like, this is what my body should look like. This is the healthiest that I have ever been. But it's not just about my movement, it's also about my mind, which we will get into. But it's about the change that I've made with my relationship with working out. So that being said, once I started to incorporate more low impact style of movement, so Pilates with lighter weights, ankle weights, more low impact, I started to get tighter and leaner in my thighs and in my core, in my waist, in areas that I had never really truly felt targeted before, right? Because remember, when we do our bigger compound lifts, so when we're doing our strength training, don't get me wrong, we need it, and I will go on for days about how every woman needs strength training, but we are hitting larger muscle groups. And we kind of forget about those little stabilizing muscles that get missed. So that's why we have our strength training, right? But then we need to go in with our Pilates and we need to strengthen those little micro muscles that are all over that do not get any love during our strength training. And sometimes that is just the missing key piece to really sculpting up and getting more toned. I really believe in that balance. Pilates exercises focus on smaller, slow and controlled movements that really focus on smaller stabilizing muscles, and that is what can help create that lean look instead of just building size. As you may know, on my app Shape, we have a mix of it all. It is the perfect combination of everything, every single movement that we need in a week, and I am confident that my app will help any woman out there achieve that long and lean look that they may be looking for. If I could go back in time and change one thing sooner, it would be increasing my protein intake. I didn't know about protein. I was not focused on protein. I was just focused on calories and carbs. I wanted to eat low calorie and I wanted to eat as minimal carbs as possible. And having that mindset, again, I know it's something that a lot of women struggle with. Take your attention away from that and start focusing on your protein intake. Protein is amazing because it keeps us full. It helps us build and repair muscle, and it is really that key ingredient to get lean. When I started to change my protein intake from about probably 50 grams of protein only a day, and that is probably generous. Some days were maybe even 30, 40, 50 grams, and started focusing on 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. So I'm 115 pounds now. I aim for 115 grams of protein a day. It's not always at that point, I'm not going to lie. If I can get to 100 grams a day, that is amazing. But when I made that change, that is when I started to see my muscle definition actually come through. On top of seeing more of my muscle definition coming through, especially in my lower body, I was also staying full again for longer. So I was eating less snacks throughout the day, I was having less refined carbs, and I was really just focusing on my 3 main meals for the day. Again, I always like to talk about the how. How do I do this? Because I know me sharing what to do is really amazing, but people want to know how to do it. My number 1 tip for hitting your protein goal throughout the day is starting your day with a protein-rich breakfast. That can be something like Greek yogurt with an omelet. It can be protein oats, adding in a scoop of protein. And also, I should say that if you are having breakfast, lunch, and dinner but still not hitting your protein goal, have a scoop of protein powder either in a smoothie or just mixed with water or milk, however you love to have it. And that is a really great additional 30 grams of protein, 20 to 30 depending on the protein powder. Lunch and dinner are also usually built around a clear protein source, so salmon or chicken thighs or a piece of steak, which is my current obsession, which I'm loving right now. Every single day I just want to eat steak, and I am very happy about that. There could be a lot worse things, but I have my protein and then I stack it with my veggies and a carb. I am hitting my goals. I am staying lean and strong. I am staying satiated. I am recovering from my workouts, and all is well just by changing this macro, and I'm enjoying all of my meals while doing so. No, protein is not magic, but if you are not getting enough protein, you are making it 10 times harder to see that definition in your legs and to tone up, get strong, and to feel confident. One thing I truly wish I understood earlier in my 20s is how much inflammation can play a role in how your body looks. And I'm talking inflammation from a few different things, external and internal factors. So from having a heightened nervous system, for living a high stress life, that's our internal. And then also our external, so eating processed foods, drinking alcohol, maybe having dairy for some, that can be very inflammatory for some people. All of these things, especially when combined, can cause a lot of inflammation in the body. It's not even necessarily like excess fat. It's just our body expanding because it is in high stress. So that is to say, when you begin to manage your inflammation, when you begin to cut out certain foods that are not doing any good for your body, and when you also start to manage your stress through mindfulness, through journaling, through walking, through whatever brings you joy in your day, that is when you begin to take a deep breath, relax your body, you get your body out of fight or flight, and I promise doing that changes alone without anything else, you will begin to tighten up, tone up, and be in the body that you truly deserve to be in. So let's all try to be a little bit more aware of the signals that our bodies are giving us. So from the foods we are eating to the actions that we are doing to everything we are putting on our plate in our day, or maybe again it is the overtraining, overstimulating the body from all different directions of life. Let's try to minimize it. Let's try to remove the things that don't make us feel good. Let's come back to a more simple, calm, grounded life. That is always what I am preaching to everyone. Let's pull it back in and you will begin to see the inflammation in your body, because less inflammation equals a leaner, more toned body. So if you feel like slim legs for you are just out of reach, I hope this video proves otherwise. I hope my experience and my transformation in my body proves otherwise. It is not about quick fixes. It is about starting to incorporate these easy, realistic habits over time that are sustainable, that not only, yes, will give you these lean legs, but they are going to make you feel better overall from the outside in, inside out. And as always, I am here to help guide you on your journey through your transformation, along with the rest of the Shape community. So if you want to jump into the workouts that, again, helped me transform and lean out and strengthen my lower body, make sure to check out my app below. We always have a free trial running. Thank you again for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to check out my latest, all about discipline, how to have it even if you are lazy, and I will see you next time.